Alright, let's talk Nigel Farage again. But more specifically, Nigel Farage's organisation, Reform. He's getting a lot of fucking attention, isn't he? No doubt he'll get a lot of votes as well in the coming general election. But why are people fucking suckered by this guy? Why? What's going on? Why is Reform making headway? Why is Reform popular? People, honestly, they don't realise what this fucking organisation's really about. They're going to vote for this guy simply because he's different. Simply because and you can't blame them for this, by the way, but it's because they're sick of the other parties. They're sick of Labour and Tory because they're always the fucking same. In their minds, they are the same. So they're sick of that. They want something new, something different. So that a lot of people's going to opt for Reform in the election. But fucking hell, what was it Stuart Lee said about protest votes? You know, if you could do a dirty protest in a hotel, you know, a protest against bad service. You could shit the bed in protest at bad service in a hotel. But then you've still got to lie in a shitted bed. It's the same if you're going to vote for Farage and Reform. You might be protesting against the other parties, but you could get something fucking worse. What's the point in that? That's not a sensible protest. If you want to protest against the centrist parties, the neoliberal parties, then vote to the left of them. Vote to the left, so at least you'll get something better. If your candidate wins, that is. You'll get a better candidate. If you get Reform, you're going to get something even fucking worse. That's not a clever protest, is it? For fuck's sake, don't vote Reform. It's an organisation that's further to the right than the Tories. Farage himself left the Tory party because they weren't nasty enough. They weren't nasty enough for Farage. He wanted an even more extreme right-wing party. So he created one. And he's now leading this Reform UK or whatever it's fucking called. But it's just another hat for Farage. How many fucking parties has he been in? They're all the same. They're all extreme right-wing parties designed to shake up the political centre and shift things to the right. Because that's where Farage wants us all to be. He wants society to move to the right. He wants a more intense capitalist system and less power for the working class. Less power for us. He's not going to say that to you in his fucking speeches, in his interviews and his fucking manifesto. He's not going to tell you that. He's not going to admit to wanting the working class to have less power. What he wants, he'll use rhetoric to fucking fool people, to dupe people into voting for him. He'll blame immigrants because immigration's a emotive issue, isn't it? A lot of people think immigration is a big problem. Well, it's not a fucking big problem. It's just how the rich distract us from the main problem, which is the inequality of wealth, the widening gap between rich and poor. They distract us from that by pointing the finger at immigrants. And Farage just capitalises on that propaganda and feeds off it, and he builds his own profile and his popularity off the back of that ruling class lie. And so we get a lot of people thinking immigration is the big issue. It's not the fucking big issue. Come on. The big issue is obvious. The rich are getting richer and the rest of us are getting poorer. And that has to fucking change. But Farage doesn't care about that. In fact, he's going to widen the gap even further between rich and poor. That's his aim. He doesn't like the working class trying to narrow the gap. He's on the side of the rich. Reform is on the side of the rich. Reform is made up of ex-Tories and other individuals who are even worse than Tories. Fascists, some of them. Fucking Nazis, some of them. But mainly it's people who used to be in the Tory party or used to support the Tories. They're now in Reform. So if you vote for them, you're voting for something worse than the fucking Tories, which is daft, innit? We all know how shit the Tories are and how they just fucking do everything for the rich and fuck the working class. Well, if you vote for if you vote for Farage, you're voting for worse than that. Worse. It's not a protest vote. It's a stupid vote. Stupid. Don't fucking do it. If you want to vote for someone other than Labour, because Labour is the best of the bunch, by the way, of the big parties, if you want to vote for somebody better than Labour, you've got to go to the left. Look for a left-wing candidate who has a serious chance of winning. No point voting for people who fucking, you know, they're going to get 2-3% of the vote inevitably. Look around for candidates. I mean, chances are in your area you won't have that option. But if you do have that option, for example, in Islington North, you can vote for Jeremy Corbyn, who was a Labour MP but is now standing as an independent because the shitbags in Labour got rid of him because he's too left. He's too supportive of the working class, so they got rid of him, and now he's standing as an independent. If you live in that constituency, you can vote for Corbyn, and that's the right thing to do. You don't want Labour in that area, you want Corbyn, because he will fight for the working class, whether he's Labour or independent. He'll fight for the working class. But in most areas you won't have an option like that, so you'll have to vote Labour just to get the Tories out. Come on, that's the main aim. We've got to get rid of the Tories, but don't fucking vote Reform, man. Don't be that thick. Don't fall for Farage's lies. He's a fucking opportunist scumbag. Anyway, I'll leave it there because I'm home now. See you in the next one. Tatty bye.